Afraid to talk to sellers on the phone? Well, then you're afraid to make money. On this episode, we sit down with a new client of mine and a newbie to the wholesaling space, Daniel, and we discuss what it was like for him to overcome his fear of talking on the phone and get his first few deals under contract. We also have some live seller calls on this call as well. You don't want to miss this one. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Closers. And today, as you can see, I've got a guest with me. His name is Daniel. He is new to our industry, but that doesn't mean anything. Daniel has huge ambitions. He has huge ambitions, and I'm gonna let him speak for himself. So before we get started in cold calling today and some fears that people need to overcome when it comes to cold calling, I'm gonna let Daniel, our guest speaker today, quickly introduce himself, tell a little bit about where he's from, how he got started, and what brought him here today, and what methods he's actually using right now to go out there and get deals. Daniel, great to have you, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Sean. So, as you said, my name is Daniel Marin. I really got started into this because I really didn't want to go into college. I know that might sound bad, but school was just never really for me. I've always had just this entrepreneur mindset type of thing. I was that kid in school that always sold like candy all the time, always trying to hustle a little bit. So I just started doing research about 2 years ago, on YouTube and reading books, networking with other people as well, on just wholesaling and real estate as a whole. And I've really started taking it seriously by the start of this year, 2025 in January. But for the past like 2 years-ish, I've been just doing studying. I've closed a few deals already. But I'm always looking to grow, and hopefully in this market, Atlanta, I want to be the biggest wholesaler here and just serve the people. Because for me, it's really not about the money. It's about how many people's lives I can help out and just be a big servant, you know?
Man, I love it. I love it. I love it. He wants to be the biggest wholesaler in Atlanta, not just one of the wholesalers out in the Atlanta market, but the biggest. I love that ambition. So let me ask you, Daniel. I know that you said that 2025 is when you really started to say, I'm going to get focused with this and refine my processes. What were you doing in those 2 years to get your start? I know you're saying you were doing a lot of studying, but you got deals done. So you were taking some action. How did that look?
So I actually partnered up with a real estate agent. His name is Gary. One day he just took me out to go check out this property that he was working on, and right next to that property was a vacant house. And there was a tree that fell on the roof. It looked like super beat up, and there was nobody living in it. So I already knew how to like skip trace and stuff like that. So I skip traced the property, got on the phone with the owner right there. And I told her about the house, like the condition and everything. She had no idea what was going on because she gave it to her grandson, but her grandson abandoned that house. So we put her under contract, and a few months later, we closed on it. So
What
that's
I'm
how we.
talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Taking action.
Mhm.
Now, nobody came and stood over you and hovered over you and said, "Hey, Daniel, you got to do this. You got to." No, he. What Daniel's saying is that he watched videos on YouTube, did studying, and an opportunity presented itself, and he worked his way through the opportunity. What we call that, and what you guys hear on this channel all the time, is we call it failing our way forward, taking massive, imperfect action. And that's exactly what he did, and it got him results. So don't let anything hold you back. Don't make any excuses out there. Do not overthink this. Do not even over prepare. Don't overload yourself with information. Do not feel like I can't take action until I get this next piece of information. Then you get it, then you're like, maybe it's something else. No, there's nothing that you're missing other than the experience. Trust me on that. So
Yep.
Daniel, we've got you here today to do some cold calling, brother. You ready for that?
I'm ready. I'm ready. A little bit nervous, but I'm ready.
Hey man, and that's what I love about people like yourself, man. You are gonna make it. You're gonna be successful in our industry. Why? Because he's saying, "Hey, I'm nervous, But just because I'm nervous doesn't mean I'm not gonna go out there and do what I'm telling everybody that I want to do. Daniel has dedicated. He's being very modest and humble right now, but he has dedicated himself to this business. He's gone all in, and I we speak about that quite often on this channel. If you have the opportunity and the ability to go all in, go all in. What that means and what that looks like is this: you gather your troops, you gather your army. Daniel's gathered his army, his troops. He has loaded them all up in boats. They have sailed across the ocean, the vastness of the ocean. They've landed where his destination is, where his goals are located. They've hit the shore. The only way for him to get all these goals is here on this shore. So you know what Daniel has done, and you know what people in his position do that are successful? They burn their ships. So there's no way to retreat. There's no evacuation route. There's no plan B. Forget all of that. You go all in and you give it all that you got. You be consistent. You give it a 90 to 120-day window to be dedicated. And don't, I'm not saying at 120 days that's when you quit or throw in the towel. I'm saying that's when you maybe reevaluate, refine what you're doing. Go get you a coach if you don't have one. And if you're going to get a coach, guys, get somebody who's talking your language. You feel like there's someone who you could resonate with and learn from. Information is free nowadays, guys. So remember that. You can go get information anywhere. You need the ability for someone to help you actually walk through because they had the experience, because they've walked through it many times to help you avoid the pitfalls that they fell into themselves. So with that being said, guys, we are going to be using a free method of cold calling today. So I want everyone out there make no excuses. Excuses are not for successful people. You can only have one or the other, success or excuses. Pick your choice. Daniel's already said he's dedicated to success. I know most of my listeners out here are the same way, so let's go ahead and get it started. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to show you how to go to the for sale by owner section in Zillow and find properties. And I'm going based upon YouTube's finicky rules about sharing information out here. I'm going to be very brief with this part so that you guys, we're not going to go specifically into anyone's information, but I'm going to show you guys exactly how to get this done. So you pull up Zillow. We're on Zillow. First thing you want to do here is hover your mouse over the buy. It'll bring this menu. You go to for sale by owner. So that's going to come up. As you can see here, it's going to come up with the nationwide. I've already kind of set some filters, but I'm going to show you what those filters are. So you go right here for sale, make sure it's for sale. I don't adjust the price. I don't usually adjust the bathroom or the bedrooms. The home type, I take out multifamily, condos, lots, apartments, manufactured. In my case, I leave in multifamily, but for purposes of this demonstration today and for our session, guys, and for especially if you're new, stay focused. Houses and townhouses, all right? Hit apply. Next, we're gonna go over here to more. We want to make sure that it says owner posted. Anything else, there shouldn't be any check marks there. Go ahead, hit apply. Boom. So right now, as you notice, I did not type in any specific address, neighborhood, city, or zip code. So it's a nationwide view that it's giving me right now. And if I scroll my mouse out, all these dots represent for sale by owner properties. So in my case, we're going to go nationwide, guys. My team, we buy nationwide. We have the tools in place to take down properties nationwide. In Daniel's case, Daniel's going to be focused on one specific market, and that's going to be the Atlanta market. So, with that being said, guys, I want you to see. Let me just zoom in a little bit closer. And so for instance, this is the Huntsville, Alabama market that we're looking at. And the closer I zoom in, the more refined my search goes. So it started off with hundreds. Now it says 77 results. How do you find the property owner's information? Click on it. Just like that. And then what you're going to do is you scroll down right here. It's right there, property owner. Don't click on contact agent. Don't do that. You don't want to contact an agent. You want to contact that property owner. So with that being said, it's that easy. So let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. Let's get this party started. And what we're going to do is Daniel and myself are going to take turns. We're going to go back and forth calling sellers, and our turn isn't over until we get somebody on the phone that we actually speak with. So that's what constitutes as a call, speaking with somebody. So with that being said, before we get started, Daniel, I know that you said you were nervous. What's your biggest fear about making cold calls?
Um, I would say just handling like objections and maybe not having an answer for some of their questions, maybe. Um,
Okay.
I think I think that's pretty much it. Just being able to talk to the person and it goes smoothly. Um, but most of the time it's not like that.
Mhm.
But I think that's pretty much it. Just handling objections and yeah, that's basically it. So
Great points, man, that you're making. Handling those objections, I can guarantee that's one of the biggest things that prevent people from taking action and making these cold calls is that they figure, man, I don't have all the answers. I don't think I'm armed enough with the information. And that's okay, guys. When you're first getting started, that's normal. You have to be willing to look foolish and again to fail your way forward. It comes with the territory. If you don't have a coach or a mentor or someone who's giving you the exact game or blueprint or exactly what to do, it can feel a little challenging. And that's okay. That's okay. So Daniel just mentioned that having the objections ready. So what I want to say to that is this. Folks, this is probably the first house that they're ever selling in their life, maybe the second, right? So don't approach this as they're some sophisticated seller of properties and they're going to have a mountain. No, to be honest with you, when you call them, they're going to look at you as the authority. They're going to look at you as the professional. They're going to look at you as the person that's going to provide answers and solutions. And anytime you don't have an answer for them, seller, Mr. Seller, that's a great question. I don't handle that portion. I'm gonna ask someone on my team. I'll get that answer for you. Keep it moving. Don't get hung up on that. Don't get hung up on the fact that that's your approach. But what you definitely don't want to do is what we call like just spew crap onto people and you're just talking fast and you're just what you're going to do is and then you're telling stuff that you think and you don't know for sure. Now you're ruining your credibility. If that seller looks into that information that you're giving them or they know a little bit about what you're saying, they're going to be like, this guy doesn't, or this gal doesn't know what they're talking about. Credibility is out of the window. Do not think that you're the only person that's reaching out to these people wanting to buy their property. All right. Separate yourself from those people by being someone who can listen, by being somebody who's actually there to solve a problem and not just buy their property. Every opportunity does not work for us. So we don't force deals. We don't force motivation. We look for opportunities to solve problems. We see if the numbers work for us. If they do, they do. If they don't, we share with the seller. If they're willing to negotiate with that price, fine. If they're not, then fine as well. But the main things that we're focusing on these calls, and Daniel, I want you to consider this as well because these are for sale by owners. So we know that they want to sell. What we really want to uncover is the motivation. So uncovering the motivation is going to be crucial, especially if the motivation does not match up with their asking price. We want to make sure that we find people whose motivation is high enough so that where we can come in and offer speed and convenience in exchange for a good price. So that's what we look for. That's how we approach it. All right,
yeah.
guys and gals, let's go ahead and get this thing started. And Daniel, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Um, I think you would go first, just so I can watch you and
Let's
listen.
do it. Let's do it. All right, folks. I'm going to be calling somebody out here in Texas. I've got the property pulled up now. Let's go ahead and dial and smile. Hold up. Okay. Yeah, I don't know the number. This area code. This is a strange number. It's an 877 number. So hopefully this is a person and not a company posing as a person. All right. Let's go.
James, please leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. At the tone, please record your message.
When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options. To leave a callback number, press 5.
Hey, Eric, this is Sean Young calling about your property on Fulton Street that I see you've got for sale. If you could, please. I was interested to talk with you about it. Talk to you soon. All right, so we're going to keep that moving, keep it moving. Go to the next one. And I'm going to expand my search here. All right. So we are going to go now. I'm going to zoom into the greater Dallas Fort Worth area, the DFW area. Right?
Quick question, if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
Do you guys usually leave a voicemail if they don't pick up every single time, or
No. Not every single time, but that particular property, it looked really good to me. So I want to
what?
leave a message just so I have a record of it for myself as well,
Okay, cool.
because I will definitely follow up if it makes sense. But for the most part, when you're doing cold calling, I would not say leave a message. But this is not a cold call. This is more like people who are raising their hand, who are saying they want to sell. So I want these people to call me back and reach back out. So
Yeah,
100%.
gotcha.
So, all right, I'm going to pull up another property here. And I wish you guys could see it because it needs a lot of tender love and care. And again, guys, you're probably saying, so how do you know if you want to call this one? We're just going to call. We'll know by talking with them. I'll run my numbers as we talk. I'm not going to pre-comp these. I'm not going to say, hey guys, give me a second so I can run the numbers really quick. No, I'm going to run the numbers while we're on the call. You'll see that that's how I do it. Daniel may have a different approach. Daniel is not one of my coaching students just yet. Daniel is a client of mine as far as we do provide services for Daniel in a different form. So his approach may be a little different. And if it is, that's quite okay. We're going to definitely take a look at his approach and mine as well, and we'll discuss it. So we're on to the next one here. Let's go ahead and give this one a ring.
You've reached the voicemail from Matt Brown. I'm unavailable at this time. If you would, just leave your name and number, sound the tone. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you.
Matt, this is Sean Young giving you a call about your property on Ross Street. Interested to discuss some things with you. See if we can take that off your hands for you. Give me a call back. You can reach one. And Daniel, something I want you to know as well is that I blur out my number when the call is actually once this actually comes out to the public, my number it's going to be muted. Same with yours. When you give out your number, if you do decide to, if that's going to be your approach, it'll be muted. So no, you're not going to have a bunch of crazy folks calling you.
All right, cool. Sounds
And
good.
folks, forgive me for the sniffling and coughing a little bit there. I'm just getting over a little cold, but the show must go on. So today is Daniel's time, and we're gonna make this happen. All right, all right, all right. Let me actually move over here. I'm gonna move over into. Gonna go in the Memphis area.
What would you say is like a really good market to be in? for
Great
these type?
question. There are a lot of good markets across the country for various reasons, but some solid markets right now to get your best bang for your buck. If you are taking the nationwide route, I would say Ohio is a great spot to get going. Western PA is a good market. Like Pittsburgh, Missouri is good. St. Louis area, Indiana. Midwestern states and the South, but some places in the South you just got to know how to navigate through them. But there's definitely great markets in the South, like the Carolinas, Georgia, of course Florida. But Florida's not really it's its own market. But all of those markets have good things about them. Um, it really just depends on what your approach is and what are you looking for. Some of these markets are more rental markets versus fix and flip markets. And how do you determine that? By looking at the fix and flips in the area versus the rentals in the area. So great question. Let's go ahead and give this one a ring.
Mr. Harris, resident. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I will get back with you. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, this is Sean giving you a call about your property on Benford Street. If you could give me a call back. And again, guys, I won't leave messages on everybody, but some of these are looking like I definitely want some of these people to call me back here. And another good thing that I want you guys to pay attention to, or not a good thing, but another thing that you should definitely be mindful of is when you're looking at these is the days on market. And funny enough, the folks that I've called so far, they've been on market for quite some time and they're not answering the phone. So what we're gonna do is, and that could be an indication of why they're on market, a days on market for so long. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna call somebody. This person is 11 days on market, but I just want to give you guys an idea of things to be mindful of to maximize your time. And again, as you see, we smile and dial. I don't want you guys, this is serious right here. I don't want you guys to be misled by the stuff that you see on YouTube, where you see all these edited videos where everyone's closing deal after deal after deal. That happens. But do you know how much recording time it takes to get it like that? It takes a lot, guys. So don't beat yourself up. Don't put too harsh of an expectation on yourself. Know that this is what it takes. This is called cold calling. This separates the strong from the weak.
This is Donna. Please leave me a message.
All right, we're gonna go to the next one here.
Can I ask another question, if you don't
Sure,
mind?
sure.
A lot of really, really new people may not know about this, but like regulations in different states on
Right.
host, like South Carolina, how
Yep.
would you go about those and some other states? Like, you would need a license maybe to wholesale or just some other stuff.
Right, right. Like there's cities that have ordinances, like Philly is one, Atlanta is one. States like South Carolina, Oklahoma. Um, yeah, so there's ordinances in different places, 100%. And if you're going to operate in those places, you want to know what those are. So it's very easy to do that. If you're in a state, and Chat GPT is free, guys and gals. I don't provide legal advice, but my advice to you is to use Chat GPT and Google that, and it'll not Google it, but search it inside of the Chat GPT AI search engine or tool, and it should be able to provide you your state's if there's any if there's anything that's in your state that would prevent you from wholesaling. Great question, man. Great question. And you're right, a lot of newbies don't know about that and they could get themselves in trouble.
Yeah.
So let me take a look here. All right, let's go ahead and give this one a call. And yeah, chime in with questions. Anytime you have a question, feel free to ask it, man. This is your session. This is your time. So like I say, I'm sure that the questions that you're asking, other people have the same questions. So ask away.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's go to the next one. And see, this is what I'm telling you, folks. This is what separates the strong from the weak in our industry. Is people are saying, "Man, this is crazy," and imagine these are people that are for sale by owner. Imagine if you're paying for leads and you're cold calling all day long, and people are like, who the heck are you calling me for? I don't want to sell my house." All right, so it's just you have to stick to it, guys. You have to be willing to stick to it. At the end of the day, it is a numbers game, but you have to have the skills set so that when you are presented the opportunity to actually have a deal that can close, you have the skill set to close the deal. So on to the next one.
Your call has been forwarded to voice.
I always think it's funny when I do cold calling like this and I don't folks don't answer. Like I'll make 10 calls, nobody answers. I'm like, man, there's no wonder these properties are just sitting on the market. You guys aren't answering the telephone.
I know when I first started, and to this day, cold calling for me is like the worst part. Like I hate it so much. But
Mhm.
I mean, like if you're really gonna get into wholesaling and treat this as a real business, it's gonna be worth it getting that deal and then probably
Facts.
getting like a cold caller for yourself, just so you're not having to do that for hours every,
Right.
you know.
Right. As you've done, you've hired one of our cold callers. So you're absolutely right. Guys, you will burn yourself out trying to do the cold call outreach that it takes to get a seller on the phone. As you see, we're calling people that have raised their hand and say they want to sell, and I'm still going through the list here. I'm still going through the list, and I'm making sure I'm looking for opportunities where again we can add value. So that's why I'm just not calling every single one. If these properties have already been renovated or fixed up to an extent, and again, people are just out here trying to see what they can get. That's not what we're trying to do here. We're trying to see again if we can help a situation here. So I look for distress. I look for properties that, look like they need a little tender loving care.
I'm gonna be honest too. So when you really start getting into this and you're using things like batch leads and prop stream
Hmm.
to pull lists, with the VA that I have right now, working 8 hours a day full time,
Hmm.
he makes about 500 to 700 calls a day, right? And we have some days that we don't get anyone that says yes at all. And some days it's like one, two, or three leads.
Right.
So having to call that many numbers just to get maybe one or two yeses, it's a grind. It really is. But I mean, if you're gonna treat this like a business, you got to reinvest back into the right things, and get better leads and just better systems and operations in place. But
You are a smart man, again, we have had plenty of conversations, so I know that this is how you think. This is how you have to think. What Daniel is saying is 100% true. And people think like that. Their expectation is off. They're like, man, I've hired a VA and then they've been working with me for a week now, and actually for a month, and they hadn't closed me a deal. I'm like, brother, like sister, like what do you mean? Like what is your real expect? How many leads do you think one VA should give you per day? Like, what is that expectation? You know what I mean? And if they say something that's out of line, I make sure that we bring them into reality and explain to them how many dials it takes to get to a lead. How many leads does it take on average to get to a closed deal? These are real numbers. So you've got to play. It's not even playing the game. It's not a play. You've got to be dedicated. Like Daniel just said, you've got to be willing to reinvest into your business. You're gaining traction every month that goes by, and you're speaking with people that say, no, I don't want to sell now, but maybe give me a call in a few months. All right. As you're doing the business, as those few months pass by, now you're reconnecting with those people because remember the money is in the pipeline, the money is in the database. If you haven't heard that phrase, stick it, write it down. The money is in the database. You're going to make the majority of your money on the follow-up, not on the first call. It takes on average in our industry, the industry average is 5 to 8 touches before there's a closed deal. What counts as a touch? A touch is if you've got a VA that's doing cold calling for you and they cold call, that's considered a touch. Then when you reach back out to follow up, that's considered another touch. What every time you have communication or contact with that seller, that's considered a touch until you have a signed agreement. That's so keep those things in mind, guys. Again, when you're out here making your calls, you've got to be reasonable with yourself. All right. There are a lot of nice houses out here. That's what's taking me so long. It's like a lot of people have fixed up their house and they're trying to just list it without an agent. I see here, but it's okay. We're gonna find something here.
Would you, so I know this is for like newer people, but
Mhm.
like would you do creative finance type of thing or would you just skip on those?
Okay, when you're just getting started,
Mm.
you got to be very careful with the creative route. I know it's very popular right now. The sub two route, the creative route. I know it's hugely popular right now. And my team, we do those deals as well. We do pre foreclosures, we do creative deals, and we focus. Our foundation is wholesaling. When you are just getting started, my my advice to you is to just be a master of wholesaling before you try to add other things onto the plate. Even though you're saying, well, man, I want to be a deal finder. When you're just getting started, is what I'm saying. Understand that understand how to acquire these property, how to have conversations with sellers first. Do that first. When you start getting into the deep waters of creative finance, and like if the property is owned outright by the seller, and you may hear me say these things because I have the knowledge to walk down those paths. If you don't again have the knowledge, don't put yourself in that path. You know, reach out to someone else, network with people, JV with somebody. Say, hey, John, I was talking with this seller, man, and it won't work for a wholesale for me, but he said he was willing to let someone take his mortgage over, subject to the subject to the existing mortgage in place. Someone could take his payments over, or the owner owns the property outright, and he's saying that he doesn't even want all the money up front. He's willing to take his money spread out over a time period. Give it to somebody. Let them walk you through a few of those. Because again, that's very serious, especially the sub two route. You could get yourself in a lot of hot water not knowing what you're doing. Pre foreclosures, you can get yourself in a lot of hot water not approaching those properly because you have to, there's laws and things out there. You have to approach those things properly. So, with that being said, my advice is to stay in your lane. If you're getting started and you're watching this channel and this video in particular and you're wanting to get into wholesaling, if that's your lane, stay in it. If creative is your lane, I can promise you you're already wholesaling probably creative deals, so it's that's a no-brainer. But if you're getting started, stay laser focused. Focus is what will bring you success. All right, let's call the next one. 276 235 7. Guys, it takes patience. It takes patience. Definitely takes patience. All right, let's call the next one. 60.
I have another question.
Sure.
So when I first started,
Hmm.
in the very beginning, one of my biggest things was where do I even get the contracts from? Like, I get this person that wants to sell. Like, what's the next steps from there? The paperwork and all of that. Where do I get title company? Just all of that stuff.
Great question. One thing that you can do is this. Well, for one, on this channel right here, I have videos where I provide nationwide title companies. I provide that. So I've got title companies and closing attorneys in every single state. So you can definitely get your deal done. And I provide that as a free giveaway. As a matter of fact, since you brought it up here, I'll make sure that it's going to be in the link of this description here as well. Nationwide title companies. I'll also provide you a link to the website, the S.M.A.R.T Wholesaling Method, where you can download the S.M.A.R.T Wholesaling Method toolkit, which will give you a lot of great information inside of that as well. So we'll definitely get you what you need as far as title companies, agreements, um, all that stuff. I'll drop a link to make sure you guys definitely have all the agreements that you need to do deals nationwide. And again, have those reviewed by an attorney first. I'm not an attorney, but those are the agreements that my team uses and my students use. All right. Great question. Great question.
Thank you. Another one really quick.
Sure.
Um, Once you get a property, you
hmm
now dispo it. How would you go about finding just a buyer for the deal to make that assignment fee?
Well, that's a that the way that we find the buyers is we want to find we want to buy in places where there's activity going on. For
Mhm.
one, we don't want to buy in a place that's too far off in a rural spot where there's nothing happening, there's no activity, where we don't see anything going on. We definitely don't want to do that. So that's number one is buying in places where we feel like we could dispo this. And there's no feelings involved. There's tools. The tools that I use, we have Investor Lift, we have X Leads, we have different tools, dispo tools that we use to actually see if there's buyers in this market. Also, batch leads, prop stream, all those are tools that you could use to see if buyers are in your market where you're looking for your property. Not only to see if, but once you do find the deal, that's where you can get your buyers. And you're going to hear different philosophies as well. People are going to say things like, build up your buyers list and then go out there and find deals. And that sounds really good. Like the theory of it, it sounds solid. It sounds, well, dang, if I've got buyers already waiting, but this is what I want everyone to consider. There's a lot of folks out here that are doing our business and they're taking this our business very seriously. They're professionals at this. So what I mean by that is this: when they reach out to those same sellers, okay, first of all, well, we're in an age of information, so we don't have to guess. We don't have to call a buyer and say, "Hey, Mr. Buyer, what's your buy box? How much money do you want to spend when you buy? What kind of properties do you want to buy?" We don't need to ask. That's a waste of time and their time, and you come off as not as a professional. And when you ask those questions, they're going to say, "This is what I buy. This is where I buy. This is how much I spend. What do you got?" "Oh, well, I don't have anything now, but I just wanted to know so that I could find it for you and bring it to you." All right, sounds good, man. All right, well, give me a call when you got it. They don't have time to like educate you. You're gonna you get lucky here and there and find a buyer that will take you under their wing and help you out a little bit more, educate you on some things that you should be educated on. And but that's again, you don't want to build a business on hope. You build a business on things that you can predict, things that you can control and scale. So again, those that's my approach to it, and I've changed on that. I've gone both ways. I've taught even both ways. Go build your buyers list, and I've also taught if you have a great deal, you'll find a buyer. You have to understand what your approach is. My again suggestion to you is what I just said. My suggestion is don't be afraid to go have these conversations with sellers so that you can get you an actual deal to present to these buyers. Because usually what I find is that people are buffering themselves in between talking to sellers and what needs to be done. So they'll say, well, I got to build my buyers list. And that's not revenue generating activity. It seems like it, but it's really not. Go out there and have conversations with people who have properties that you could solve their problem, get those properties under contract, provide those to your end buyers, or you take it down yourself, keep it for your own portfolio, whatever the case is. But finding those properties, being able to close, being able to talk is crucial. That is to me the most crucial part of this. Dispoing your deal is there's many ways to offload dispo. For folks that don't know what dispo means, it means disposition. It means how are you going to sell this deal or offload it? What's the method or the strategy? So another great question, brother. Great question there.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Let's give this one a call here.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going? This is Sean. I was calling about your property on Bear Creek Church Road.
Oh, okay.
Is that one still
Yeah.
available?
Pardon me?
Is that one still for sale? Is that one still open for sale?
It is
Okay. And what are you looking to get for that one?
250.
Okay. Tell me about it. What's the situation?
Was 3 bedroom, 2 bath, recently remodeled, about an acre of land.
Okay. Why are you looking to sell? What's got you wanting to sell that one?
Profit.
Profit. That makes sense, right? Yeah, we all want to make some
Yeah.
money. What was your
Yeah.
intentions when you first got it? Was this a fix and flip for you? Is it just something that you picked up to re-put back out on the market? Was that the goal with this one?
Yeah. Flip.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the pictures here and I'm seeing that there. When I looked at it from the outside, I couldn't tell, but now that I'm looking at the pictures here, I see that you've definitely um, renovated and put some work into it.
Yes, sir.
Do you are you open to are you open to selling this on terms like creatively?
Depending on the terms. Yeah.
Do
I'm
you
open to it.
okay? Do you own this one outright or is there a mortgage on this one?
Outright.
Nice. Okay. All right. In that case, you'd be the bank. You'd be my bank. And what was your name? I didn't catch your name again.
Justin
Justin.
Gaines.
Justin. Sounds like you'd be my bank here in this case since you own it outright. Um, yeah, I'd be definitely open to entertain a creative offer. I just need to kind of know what you're looking to get, what you're wanting to get for it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I want 250 for it.
Okay.
What terms do you have in mind?
I'm thinking of a 30-year amortization schedule. We could put a 10-year balloon, 10 or 15-year balloon on that. And we come up with a monthly payment that makes sense for both of us. 'Cause just like you, I'm an investor, so I'm not going to move out and live in the property. I'm going to put somebody in there, and we want to make sure it makes sense for us all. So the numbers got to definitely make sense on a monthly scale. But that's how it would look. We definitely give you some interest on that, so that you're getting your asking price plus some, and that's how that would work. It's pretty simple.
How about the down payment?
With the down payment, I try to pay as little as possible, to be honest with you, because of
Hmm.
how we do our business and how we make our money off of these type of deals. If we're going to go into a long term, situation like this, I try to pay as little as possible. But again, that this is you're my bank, so you tell me what's required, and we see if that makes sense for us.
Yeah. 20%.
So you'd want 20% down here,
Hmm.
okay? And what would you be looking at for a monthly payment?
Well, let me get my calculator pulled up here.
Let me do the same thing here.
And I'd do a 5 year balloon, not 10 year.
You want to do a 5-year balloon?
Hmm.
All right. On that down payment there, on that 20,000, on that not 20, it's 50. Actually, the 20% it equates to 50K. Are you flexible on that? I mean, I know that you're the bank there, and you can. The reason why I'm asking that is because at that type of rate, it'd probably be in my best interest to just go the traditional route. I want to make sure that we're both on the same page, and I'm making sure that this works for you and makes sense for you. I don't want to take something off the market that's, if it's something hot, definitely I don't want to do that. But I see it's been on the market for a little bit of time. My team brought it to my attention, wanted to see if it's something that we could, mutually come up beneficial together that would make sense for us. And 50K would be, I'm just being honest with you, that'd be pretty tough for me to swing. To swing to 50K. I'd probably be more in the range of maybe the 25K down. I'm okay with the 5 year balloon.
Yeah, I tell you, I would rather you get a traditional lender and pay me all at once.
I'm sure you would. I'm sure you
Yeah.
would. I'm sure you
So,
would. But as you know,
um,
the bank is they're only going to lend out. They're only going to give us so much, and I'm
yeah,
extended, so this would have to be private money. So I'd have to take this down private money. So it would have to again make sense from that perspective as well, because I'd have to pay my lenders and whatnot. So just at that rate,
yeah,
brother, I don't think it would make sense. And no harm, no foul. I
yeah,
could definitely check back with you in a month or two to see where things stand, and maybe we could get a little closer to where we both need to be with that. And if not, I'll be I do this so I could maybe be a solution for you for some of your other properties. It sounds like you fix and flip, so I'd love to take a look at even the other properties that you may have.
yeah. We don't. This is the only one we got right now. We're kind of trying to get out of it. Be honest.
Understood.
Um, the whole fix and flip game, unless we run across a deal, and that's kind of what we did with these.
Right.
Um, but I think this one will sell. And like I say, I'd rather just get all my money on the front end than owner finance it. So that 20%, I'm not going to move on that. And then the rate you mentioned being sort of leverage there, I got to factor that in when I'm pricing it
Right.
because that's additional risk. Um, so it probably is not going to, I'm assuming you're building or have built a rental portfolio and you want this thing to cover the taxes, insurance,
Right.
debt service, some vacancy and operating expenses. And I don't think that you'll be able to do that even with less money down. Certainly more money down lowers your debt service and makes it
Hmm.
cash flow a little bit better.
Right. Yeah, you're speaking my language,
So,
so you definitely understand where I'm at, and I definitely understand where you're at with what you need. So,
yeah,
so it sounds like this may not be the best opportunity for us to work together, but totally okay. It's totally okay. Again,
yeah,
I still love to
sure.
follow up with you in the future, see if I could be of
Okay.
service to you.
Yes, sir. Sounds good.
Justin, it's been a pleasure speaking with you, man.
Yeah,
Best of luck on this. Let me ask you
likewise.
before I do get you off of here, what have people been telling you so far? What's been the feedback you've gotten on this? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's been good. People love the house. We've only had it listed on Zillow and the for sale by owner on Zillow.
Hmm.
So the exposure is not great.
Okay.
Um, I think we did another one like this about a year ago, and I had more calls just by sticking a dang sign out in the yard than I did on the for sale by owner. So probably that's what I'm going to do here. I just don't want a lot of because we live close to this one. I don't
Okay.
really want a whole lot of the local folks bugging me about it.
Right. Right.
But yeah, the feedback's been great. I think it's priced right. It's just the exposure stinks, and I don't want to pay a realtor 3 or 4% to sell the thing either.
Right. Yeah, and I wouldn't want to beat you on the up on the price because for me to take this for the price, I would definitely have to take it for less than 250. I don't want to kick you in the knees on this one. I mean, like I said, I see you've done some work on this one, and if you don't have a need to sell right now, I'm not going to twist your arm.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the nice thing. We don't need to. So,
Right.
um,
Well, Justin, like I say, man, I wish you the best, man. Like again, you got a nice property in your hands. I wish you the best and get this thing sold, and I'll follow back up with you in the future, see how things stand.
okay, sounds good,
You have a
partner.
great
Take
rest of your day,
care.
brother. Talk to you soon.
All righty, goodbye.
All right. So that's how it's done. That's a call in the books. Questions, concerns,
Oh.
thoughts?
Um, no, I think it went pretty well, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. Just I don't know. Why do people like fix up their property and then list it themselves on Zillow? I just
Great
I get they
question.
don't want to do the agent stuff, but I mean, it's
Another
more.
great question. From what I find, Daniel, and I was going to ask him that. I was going to just flat out say, "Why don't you list it with an agent?" But when he was talking, I'm always very closely listening, so he kind of alluded to it, like, "Hey, I don't really want a bunch of people asking me about it and bugging me about it, really." So if he lists it with an agent, the agent's going to put a yard in the sign. Whatever company they're with, there's going to be a yard in the sign, and they're going to be bringing people out there because that's what agents do. So it doesn't sound like he wants to go that route. A lot of people don't want to do that for a lot of reasons, for privacy reasons. Sometimes folks are actually still living in the property. So there's a lot of reasons why people go that route.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That was the only thing that I was thinking during that.
Good, good stuff, man. I'm glad you got to hear how that call wasn't a wholesale call, and I could tell right from the beginning. I couldn't see at first because there was a lot of pictures, but at first on the outside it looked. And let me let you see if I can show that, if I can share that here, because I do want you to see what I saw from the outside at first, which will give you the indication. Hey, this property, this might be right up our alley here. So yeah, let me share that with you really quickly. All right, so this is the property that we were just looking at. And this is how I saw it from the outside. So I said, okay, looks like it could, use some tender love and care, and it still could. Even when I looked at the renovated pictures, I still saw that he put work into it. But there's, it still could use a little. It could be updated a tad bit more. But it looks nice. It's ready to go. It's empty. He has renovated this property to fix it and flip it, just like he said. Unfortunately, it has sat. It has sat for 93 days on market. And he has no his motivation isn't high. If you guys remember, I just spoke with Daniel about that. I says, guys, we don't make deals. We don't force our way into a deal. We discover what the motivation is and we see what the problems are that we can fix or solve, or can we help this person with what their motivation is. And in this case, Justin didn't have much motivation. Justin was willing to sit it out as long as he needs to, or do just what he said, which is, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm just going to put a sign in the yard, finally get this thing going. So that's what Justin is going to do. So with that being said, we are on to the next one. You're up, my friend.
All right.
And I'll mute my line off here, but yeah, you're up, man.
Let's do it. I'm nervous, bro.
Let's do it, man. You're gonna knock it out the park, man. Again, the fact that you're already here making calls it speaks volumes, man. It's huge.
So this one is in Atlanta, listed at 220 for sale by owner. It's four
Okay.
bedroom, two bath, 2020 square foot. Can't see the pictures on the inside, but the outside looks pretty. It looks like it needs work. Uh, Posted 3 hours ago on Zillow.
Oh, so it's brand spanking new.
Yeah, 98 views, 11 saves. Let's give it a call. Hey, is this the owner of 1439 Westboro Drive in Atlanta? Hey, my name is Daniel Marin. I saw this is posted on Zillow. Are you looking to sell this one?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Is there anything you could tell me about it?
What would you like to know?
Just like the condition of the property. I don't see any pictures of the inside yet. So is there anything you could tell me about the condition of it?
It needs what?
Needs work. Okay, gotcha. Have you done anything to the property recently?
Nope.
No, no work. Okay, cool. Are you living in there or do you have a tenant that's occupying it?
Cash.
Yeah, I'm an investor, so we do fix and flips in Atlanta, all of Metro Atlanta area. Yeah, we do that.
Did you get close?
We could do it within 30 days or 2 weeks, depending.
Give you a call. Interested.
Okay. Are you wanting to sell this one fast?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. What's going on with that, if you don't mind me asking?
Just looking to sell it.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have like a mortgage on there? Um, just the payments aren't going well, or it's is it vacant?
Um, yeah, I mean, like I said, I'll give you guys a call back if I'm interested in selling it in a month.
Gotcha. Okay. So when do you plan on choosing a buyer for this one? Because I know you posted it like 3 hours ago. Are you really wanting to sell it right now, or not
Yeah.
really?
And that's why I said I'll give you guys a call back when they
Gotcha.
hit back from somebody.
Gotcha. Okay. Have you received any other offers yet, or still just waiting?
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, we do buy properties like this all the time. So if you're ever interested and you have my number, just give me a call
Yeah,
back and we could work something out.
sounds good.
Okay. And what's your name? What's your name? Okay. You hung up. That was bad. I feel like I could have did way
Oh,
better. It
I was
was
muted. Sorry about that. Hey, it's all good, man. Great job. Great job. That's like diving into the pool. As soon as you jump into the pool, it's gonna be cold at first, but you'll get used to it the longer you stay in that water, brother. Great job, man. Great job having a conversation. Um, I could definitely tell you were nervous. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. You'll get the more calls that you make, the more that you'll work through that. And just remember, these are regular people.
yeah.
They're just regular people. First time they've sold a house. So don't let them intimidate you. And remember the questions that we want to. This is my advice. The questions that you want to ask are questions that will, like when you say, so tell me what's going on with the property. What you want to know is what you're trying to figure out is what exactly is the situation. Why do they want to sell, and what is the condition of the property? Now, if he's like, well, it needs work. This is how I would come back to that. I say, all right, if all right, well, if I were to take this property off your hands today and I had 50,000 to put into it, am I using the whole 50? Am I using half of it? How much do you think it's going to take for me to get the property to look like the house down the street that sold?
Gotcha. Okay.
So that's how I would go there. And again, I really appreciate and liked how you said, "Hey man, it looks like you posted this like a few hours ago. Do you really want to even sell?" Man, hey man, congratulations to that. Congratulations to that. I actually have a victory bell that I should be ringing, but it's back behind my setup here, so I got to go grab it. But man, I need to ring the victory bell for that because that is again, guys, do not be afraid to walk away. Again, we're not trying to talk them into selling us their house. We want to be talked into buying their property. But it is a conversation, and we have to make sure that we have that conversation properly. So I appreciate that. Great job by extracting that and making him say, "Well, like I said, I'll just call you back." See, he's putting fillers out there. You ask great questions. Have you gotten any other calls on this? So someone who really wants to sell that didn't just put this out a couple of hours ago, they'll probably be more likely to talk with you. So with that being said, let's let you go ahead and find another one. You can pull up. You can do one more, and I'm gonna grab my victory bell while you're getting set. Oh yeah. Also, bring the your phone the closer to your mic so I can hear a little bit better. I could start hearing them better at the end, but at first it was a little tough.
Okay. So like you said before, I like to look at the property and see if anything has been sold around it just to see if it's a good deal or not, you know? Can you hear me?
Shoot, I was on mute. I'm talking. I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Jeez, man.
So this one, it looks like a mobile home. That's what
Okay,
it like. Those are of course like priced differently than actual regular homes.
right.
But what's like the big difference because this one is it's a 3-2 1,778 square foot selling for 175, and I see a comp. It's a 3-2 1,790 square foot, almost the same thing, sold for 375.
It's a mobile home as well.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
So
see, I try to stick with apples to apples. So with mobile homes and things of that nature, I stick with the same thing. And I honestly, I don't do a lot of mobile homes
yeah.
because a lot of those they really have to have the land too, and a lot of these are like usually they're leasing the land and they have the mobile home and it's
Mhm.
or the trailer and it's like a car. It's depreciating. It's not appreciating.
Gotcha. I'm gonna pass on that one. Okay, so this one is a 2-1 1,000 square foot. Asking price is 210.
Let's go.
Has been forwarded to voicemail.
Okay, so the next one. I'm just gonna start calling it. I'm not gonna do too much research on it. Just call it. Don't want to get stuck in analysis paralysis, they call it.
Exactly, exactly. And then, like I say, then you find out that people don't even answer the phone, and you didn't looked up all you all excited. Man, it's gonna be a good one.
Exactly.
Yeah, just come back to it.
Okay, this one is a 4 bedroom, 4 bath, 2,650 square foot. Asking price is 858.
Oh, so this is a big one.
Yeah.
It's a pricey one. I try to usually stay in that medium price range when I do these or below.
Listed for 166 days.
Yeah, unless it's in an area where the whole neighborhood is looking like that and they're all selling. I try to avoid that price range.
Hello, it's Hero.
Hey, is this the owner of 509 Wabash Avenue? I'm sorry if I said that wrong. In Atlanta.
It's it.
I did? Oh, nice. Wabash. That's a unique name. Okay. So
For the white caps of water.
really, okay. I've never heard that before. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
That's what I teach every learn something every day.
Yeah, we do. We do. Okay. So I saw this on Zillow. You were selling it. Is there anything you could tell me about it?
It's a great house. Are you looking to buy a house?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
I'm actually an investor, so we look to do like fix and flips or rental properties, stuff like that. So,
It's probably outside the budget of a fix and flip,
hmm,
but it can be had. Um, I live in it. You'll want to put in 80 grand to make it uh, a $2 million property, but
gotcha. Okay. So you're currently living in there. Um,
yeah. And I'm not doing any repairs because I don't know if people want to tear it down or apply their own color.
yeah. I mean, for me as an investor, I would probably add my own color in there, you know. I have to put some work into it because I could tell by the pictures you might need to update it a little bit. Um,
Right. I've gotten this call. I can't tell you probably 100 times.
yeah.
Um, um, what I could recommend is that you will make more bang for your buck on the down in Lakewood Heights.
Gotcha. Okay. So are
Those,
you're looking for more of a like a retail buyer type of thing?
yeah, a retail buyer, somebody who recognizes the direction the neighborhood's going and wants to do a buy and hold.
Hmm.
And um, so,
Okay.
but I mean, I'm sure you did your homework. But the bungalows across the street all sold for $1 million too, and they tore them down. So
Gotcha. Okay. Um, do you have this outright or do you have a mortgage on it still?
I've got plenty of interest in it.
No, I mean like do you still have a mortgage that's on it that you're still paying off, or do you own this outright?
I own it, but
Yeah,
um, I still have plenty of interest. So
gotcha. Okay.
I don't
Um,
have an assumable mortgage.
yeah. So as an investor, if I were to do all cash, it would have to be a little bit lower. Um,
Yeah. Oh, I
so I'm not
understand.
sure if I would be the choice for you. Have you ever thought about like listing it with an agent though to get more retail buyers?
Yeah, I have my other house listed with an agent. He's not doing as good as I am.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. You're doing better yourself.
I'm
Sounds
doing
good.
better. Yeah.
Have you guys gotten any offers yet from retail buyers or?
Pending right now on this house. Um, but and they're investors, so I know that I know how they're gonna knock try to knock me around. And then the other house, I'm gonna put in an offer today on it. But I only want to sell one house.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
So you already have a pending offer on this one? Like you guys have it in escrow and all that already?
my attorney uh, whether he got their escrow or not. I sent back the contract because the chandeliers are not going to convey, and I want a 30-day post sale to get out of the property.
Yeah, gotcha. And are they doing all cash as well, or are they doing it on terms? Something
Uh,
like that.
all cash.
All cash. For your
Yeah.
asking price?
No, an adjusted price.
Gotcha. Is it like,
Uh,
hmm
I will do reductions if you can give me a legitimate reduction.
okay, sounds good. How much would be like a legitimate reduction for you? What would you say?
These guys are at 812, so if you want to beat them, you know,
812. Okay,
so
let me see. I mean, maybe we might be able to do something. I'll keep your number just in case you're accepting backup offers.
I am.
Okay,
Um,
sounds good. So, yeah, I'll be in contact with you, and I'll let you know what we can do with that.
that's consider me.
Yeah, of course, of course.
The other address is 508 Ralph McGill Boulevard. So if you're working with a buy and hold investor, they'll want to buy all three properties.
Mhm. Oh, this one's off market?
The 508 is with a realtor.
Gotcha.
I've had more action than he has. Because
Okay.
every time I talk to anybody about this house, I tell them about that house.
Yeah, that would make
So,
sense. This one, you said you have a agent on it. I'm looking on Zillow. I don't see it, that it's on market though. So are they going to list it soon or?
that's what he thinks. But,
Hmm.
he's got a girlfriend up in the north.
Okay, gotcha.
Not, I kind of like my realtors to live across the street, to be able to sell the neighborhood.
Gotcha. And what's your asking price with this one? 508.
Billion two.
One,
Where
two.
are you?
Okay.
What part of town are you in?
I live in Grayson. Do you know where Grayson is?
Yeah, I bought a car there one time from a doctor. Are you a doctor?
Oh, really? No. I'm not a doctor. I'm an investor. I just do real estate. Uh,
Sociologist.
oh, really? Okay.
No, he was a plastic surgeon. That's
Gotcha.
right.
Okay. Well, I know who to go to if I know somebody that needs some plastic surgery now.
Yeah,
So it's good.
you're getting a lot of wrinkles worrying about these investments.
Yeah. Yep. That is true. Could be
So
stressful.
too late to pull your money out of the market, but
Yeah.
as well.
Sorry. Were you an investor too? Because you have multiple of these properties.
I was for um, when I was your age.
Oh, really? Okay. What did you do?
That's why I recommended Lakewood Heights
Gotcha.
because I could buy low, sell high, make a ton of money.
Yeah. Okay. What did you do when you were doing the investing part?
I only bought in the fourth ward of where I am now.
Gotcha.
And I had a crew that would turn them, and we would buy apartment buildings, we'd buy single family, we did it all.
Gotcha. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. So I think I would be more interested in the 509 one.
Okay.
And then you said you had a third property. So 509, 508, and then what was the third one?
A vacant lot that's contiguous to the 508 Ralph McGill. It's on the west side of the property, but it doesn't have a house number because it's never had a house.
Gotcha. Okay. Let me see. Okay. I'll take a look at that. I think it's okay. I see it here. Cool. And how much are you asking for that one?
I have it right now at 750, but I'll be offering it at a lower price to whoever buys 508. So whoever buys 508 Ralph McGill will negotiate the vacant lot because uh, I want whoever has that house to have first option on building next door to it.
Okay. Sounds good. So let me save this really quick.
But on the vacant lot, I will be doing an owner's financing opportunity on it.
On the vacant lot, that was?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good. All right. So I'll be in contact with you about the 509 property. And I'll let you know what we're able to do with that one. Okay.
All right.
All right. And what's your name?
Hero, what was her name?
My name is Daniel, Daniel Marin.
That's what I told my sister your name was.
That's what you told your sister my name was?
Because it came up on the caller ID.
Really? That's the first time I've ever heard that before. Does that really come up?
Yeah, it came up. Yeah.
What in the
And a
world?
lot of times these investors come up, I'm a scam.
Yeah.
Boy who lives in Grace and
Yep.
I don't know my doctor neighbors.
Well, at least you know I'm not a scam and I'm a real person. So I'll give you a text at this number. This is your personal phone? Okay, cool. Sounds good. And what's your name? I need to
H-E-R-O, last
H
name
R
Thompson. Thompson.
S O N.
And
That's a
when
pretty
you're
cool
ready to
name.
write the check, I'll give you my bank name, okay?
Okay, gotcha. Well, thank you, Hero. I appreciate it. And I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you enjoy your day.
All right, you as well. Bye-bye. That guy
All
seems like
right, bam. That's how it's done, bro. We got a victory bell for that one.
thank you.
All right,
The guy
great
seems
job,
like
man. Great
such a
job.
chill guy, like a really laid back, chill guy.
Right, right.
That's funny.
Regular conversation, right?
Yeah.
Just a regular conversation. Nobody was trying to jump through the phone at you. Like just a regular old conversation, man. And you did a great job, man. You asked a lot of great questions, and that's how it's done. You just had a conversation with the guy. You didn't
Yeah.
get him off the phone quickly, which is good as well, which again shows that's confidence building in you. You have a very calm demeanor, and that comes off as confidence. Trust me. That's why the guy was talking with you, and he was like, "Hey, yo, you live out there? You're a doctor?" Like why would he not think you're coming off as professional, sharp, someone who knows what they're talking about, and you're just interested in buying a property. You're being honest with them, not making up a bunch of stuff. Not hey, you're just calm, having a great conversation, and that, my friends out there, is how it's done. That's it. That's it, Daniel. Do you have any questions before we wrap this thing up here today? But you did a great job with the two calls that we had. We got to hear one call and then we got to hear another call. And it sounds like that second call is going to provide you with other future opportunities for a closed deal. And we definitely want to hear about it here on this channel. And you know, I got your back to help you get those closed.
Yeah. So for me, I know I could have done way better, honestly. So what is some feedback that you would give me just to speak better or just do better on the next calls?
My feedback on those again for sale by owners are a little bit different. But you what the main thing that again that you want to do from the very beginning is extract the motivation because
Mm,
they're going to give you the price. So you want to figure out why are they wanting to sell this property and really drill into that. Like allow them to pour into that. Go deep into why do they want to sell. I couldn't hear all the parts of some of the things that the gentleman was saying, but for the most part, I gathered that he has other properties and this is one that he's just wanting to sell and he has a couple of other offers. He has one on the table for eight something if I'm not mistaken,
yeah.
he has one on the table for eight something and he's entertaining offers. So you did a good job at keeping him talking and allowing him to do the more talking than you were doing talking, as far as explaining all that stuff. You even did a great job by asking him, hey, do you own these properties outright?
Mm,
And then he kept saying, well, yeah, he kept saying something when you asked that question. He was
yeah.
like, yeah, but I'm not. You remember what I'm saying?
Yeah. He kept saying, I have interest in it.
Yeah.
Something
Yeah.
like I didn't know what he meant by that,
Yeah,
but
me either. I was like, what does he keep saying that for? But I was
yeah.
like, all right, let me just listen to him. And sure enough, so how I gather from that, Daniel, is that this will be a guy this is a high price point. And this takes a unique buyer. This is a unique buyer pool. This isn't the typical buyer. This isn't the typical even investor that will want to even go in on something like this because of the amount of money that's required to take it down, to fix it. It's just a lot of risk for so this is probably one that we can't help him out with unless we find a retail buyer. But we could still do some fillers out there for sure. There's some properties that have sold in the area. I was doing the comps at the 508, the one on Ralph McGill. And so there are comps in that area that are in that price range. So it's not so apparently that's a super nice area. I'm not even that familiar with that little pocket, but apparently it's really nice there because there are some $1 million homes that have sold and are listed right now. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Um, hopefully I could just get better with my speaking with people and asking the right questions
It
and all
ain't
that.
no hopefully, man. You did a great job today, man, and you're gonna continue to get better, man. Listen, brother, like this call is for you. This time is for you. If there was something majorly off, I would be drilling into you right now, going, "Hey, brother, like you want to reel that back, man. That's gonna mess you." No, you're on the right path. I promise you. It's just gonna take more repetitions. And again, when we're not speaking with direct to seller, how we want to approach it is this. Mr. Seller, I see you got a property at 123 Main Street. Is that still for sale? You know it's on Zillow. You want to confirm that it's still for sale. They could have sold it 10 minutes ago. So just ask that. Get them to say, yes, it's for sale. Okay. Even though it's on Zillow, listed at whatever he says, how much do you want for that property? Make them say, well, I got it listed for 250, but because that's where the but could come in. Or if they say 250, that's when just okay, 250. So tell me about what's going on with the property. What's the situation?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
again, all the other things like does the roof need to be fixed? Does the stove might man, all that stuff is irrelevant, really, kinda. It's needed, but it's not as relevant. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't do that. You didn't waste time going down like a dark alley, really. You were able to stay in a proximity with that seller, where he was engaged with you. He enjoyed conversating with you. He's like, hey man, that's what I told my sister your name was. That's a good person. That's the energy in the space that you want to be with the seller. There was no conflict, there's no combat there. You guys were mutually working together or not working together. That's how you want it to go. Very similar to the call that I did before that. There was no conflict. We and you have to be honest, and you were, Mr. Seller. I don't think this was gonna work. He
Yeah.
appreciate that. He didn't say, "Oh no, Daniel, man, you wasted 5 minutes." No, man, this is how it goes. And he's a good guy, especially people that have I won't say money because I won't say that I know that he has money, but he has properties that are valued he has a portfolio that's worth millions of dollars. So I would say people like that, they're a little more sophisticated in their understanding of owner finance or creative approaches. So I'm really glad that you asked the gentleman, the question because that's your next way that you can, angle into him. Mr. Seller, I'm just following up with you. How did it go with that buyer? Okay, well, you know what? Have you considered maybe selling this on terms, like taking your money over a period of time? Because it doesn't sound like you need the money right now.
Yeah. exactly.
So
And
I'll
that's
help
just
you with that too when it's time.
okay, cool. Sounds good. Um, just whenever I do calls,
Hmm.
I really try not to sound like so salesy and asking them like dead on questions back to back. I like to build rapport with them and just act like a normal person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like having normal conversation, like how's your day? Just other stuff. The subject is the house, but I don't want them to feel like all you care about is the
Is the
house.
house.
I mean,
Facts.
some of these people have real problems going on, and you have to be
Absolutely.
a therapist sometimes to these people. So it's just doing that is probably the best way to go.
That's a
But
great point, Daniel. And I want to speak on that just a tad bit. What Daniel just mentioned here is developing rapport and building rapport, and not just sounding like a salesperson that's trying to get their property. And I'm going to give you a quick example of both. And even when you're building a rapport, you have to do that with a particular skill set because that can draw out for a long amount of time, and you're building rapport when rapport was not needed because there was no motivation there. So again, I always reel it back to motivation. Everything kind of births from there. And that's how I'm able to build a rapport because I'm listening intently and I'm asking open-ended questions. Oh man, you had a tenant in place and they messed it up. Tell me more. Oh, you've had this on the market for 4 months. Tell me, how's that? What's been going? What's happening? Why? That's what you're trying to do. But to specifically say what Daniel said, let me give you an example. This is what a non-professional would do. You're on the phone with the seller, and the seller says, Daniel, hold on. My kids are running in the background and my dog is barking. Let me go put my dog up and tell my kids to sit in the other room. Then they come back on the line, and Daniel says, so is the furnace new? Is the root, yeah, you're asking questions. You've missed a huge opportunity to have a heart connection, to build a rapport and a true connection with this person. So, what do I mean by a heart connection and true rapport? This is what I mean, folks. When you get back on the phone, Mr. Seller, oh man, how old are your kids? I don't have any kids of my own, but man, I've got two little brothers or I've got a nephew. Whatever. Don't lie, because you're gonna say, hey man, send me a picture of your kids. So don't lie. But hey, Mr. Seller, so man, I heard you said you got a dog. Man, I love dogs, man. I've got a pit bull. What do you got? That's what that opportunity is for. That's an opportunity for you to dive in with that seller, figure out what's going on, be a regular person. That's a normal conversation right there. That opens up into other things. Then you'll hear them talking about other stuff. Man, Dan, you caught me. I just got done watching the ball game. Oh yeah, what game was you watching? I'm watching the Braves. They just played the Cardinals today. Man, I love the Braves. Oh yeah, man, I love the damn Braves. Man, what you think about that new coach? Now you're stuck. I don't know who the coach is. You're on your phone Googling who's the Braves coach, and you say some name of the coach back in '95, and you're out of there. So, man, you did a great job, brother, and that's how you do it. That's how you always do it. And to the people watching, that's how it's done. It's that simple. Do not complicate this business. It's repetition. It's getting your feet wet and keeping them wet and being consistent with what you're doing. Makes sense, everybody?
yep, yep.
Absolutely.
Well, thank
All
you,
right,
Sean.
Daniel.
Appreciate it.
Man,
Appreciate
I thank you again for your courage today, brother. You've come on and showed the people that not only did you get over your fear of the camera, so to speak, but you have a mission, and your mission is to be the best, the biggest wholesaler out here in the Atlanta market. And I'm gonna help you with that journey. And this is my first step with helping you. So let's make it happen, brother.
Thank you. Let's do it. Let's do it. Look forward to it.
All right, guys. And that's it, guys. It's been another episode of Conversations with Closers because Daniel's a closer. I promise you. We'll be bringing him back on for future episodes. We're going to watch his development, we're going to watch his growth, and we're going to watch him closing deals right before your eyes. And you're going to remember this was the first time you saw him. So there's no excuse for you. You got to start where you got to start where you stand right now. Now is the only time that matters. Not last month, not when you were a kid, not when you fell off the swing and no one helped you up. No one cares. No one cares. Go out there and make it happen, guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, share this with someone else who could use this great advice, and go out there and get it done. All right, guys, make it happen.